this week, we had to do our book Babble on a foster topic, and I chose to do vampires. Not in the sense as in Twilight, where they have fangs and long for blood, but in the sense that they are greedy for each other, greedy for power, not in the sense of blood. In this case, I decided to split it up into classes. There are two classes really going on in my book because I decided to do it over the war. In this case, the war is the literary vampire because it claims so many lives, and there's two classes within this war. There is the rich and the poor, which are very typical classes, but in this case it deals with the soldiers. Rich as in the more wealthier soldiers, the soldiers that are more well-to-do, the soldiers that would get more medical attention because of their status. And this includes the officer and the soldier whom we saw earlier, who seem to have it all together and seem to have the power. Yet then there's the poor soldiers, such as Clovis, who is recently going into the army. And then there's Henley, who just died from the army, who got claimed by this vampire. This war is a hungry vampire that takes men of all ages, size, and color, yet it doesn't always give fair treatment. The currency, however, between the two classes is young men. Both need men as officers. And in my book, there's some really good quotes that describe how Gertie and her children are really upset about Henley's death. And they feel that he died not because he was a bad soldier, but he died because he didn't get the medical attention he needs. And here's a quote. That they took off and killed him. If he had been a bigger, richer farmer, you see, these two were farmers. They were poor, and yet they think he killed him because he hadn't been as rich. But yet Gertie counters this with a verse from the Bible. For man also knoweth not his time, as the fishes that are taken in an evil net, and as the birds that are caught in the snare, so are the sons of men. So she's really trying to tell them that, yes, this is terrible that this has happened, but yet maybe it was time for Henley to go. Maybe the Lord's will was calling him. Even though this vampire is not as, I would say mean. Mean isn't a good word to describe it. It's just greedy and hungry for men. And the classification between the two soldiers really draws out the treatment of them. And the idea of vampires is very prevalent because it is occurring all throughout the war. Thank you.